Welcome to Local Guides Panel, a podcast series that's part of the Go Loco Guides YouTube channel, the unofficial channel for all things related to the Local Guides program. My name's Adrian. I'm a level 9 local guide from Malaysia, and Happy New Year! Welcome to 2024. If you're not familiar with the Local Guides panel, the concept is very simple. I invite 3 other local guides to the show, and we form a panel, and we all get roughly 5 minutes to each raise a topic and to open it to the panel to discuss. Moving forward, this show is going to be pro audio. And what that means is that you don't need to actually watch this video. You can just listen to the audio and that should be enough. So we're going to avoid screen shares and referencing any image-based media. Lastly, the views and opinions that you'll hear on this show are ours and ours alone. None of us work for Google and we don't represent Google or the Local Guides program. And that's basically it. And without any further ado, please do join me in welcoming my guests. I have with me here Jan, Morten, and Peter, and I'll let them introduce themselves in that same order.
Thank you, Adrian. Hello, dear listeners, dear viewers. Never know what the audience is like. I'm Jan from Belgium. I'm a level 10 local guide. I'm also Connect moderator, and I am also the host of the LetsGuide Podcast, which we'll be talking about later on.
Morten. Hi, and my name is Morten. I live in Copenhagen in Denmark, and I'm also one of the Connect moderators on Local Guides Connect. And I think I have a special preference for making wonderful photos and actually mostly storefront photos. And also I like to do edits on Google Maps.
Cool.
And I'm Peter. I'm a mere minion amongst the moderators here. I'm a level 7 local guide. I live about 30 miles, that's about 40 kilometres north of Manchester. And I just enjoy the Local Guides program, meeting people and helping keep Google Maps around Manchester and Lancashire up to date. So it's nice to meet you all. Nice to see you 3 here as well.
And nice to have all of you here today as well. So I'll start the discussion on the panel. It's not so much a discussion, but I open myself up to questions from the panel if they have any. Basically, I'm going to use my 5 minutes here to talk about a few things related to the Go Local Guides YouTube channel. It's a new year, new resolutions, so there are some big and small changes to the channel. First of all, if you haven't noticed it already, there is a name change, a slight name change. It used to be called Go Loco Podcast, and it's now called Go Loco Guides, or Go Loco for short. And the reason for that is that because we started off as a podcast kind of project, and then halfway through the thing, we moved on to video. And from then on, I thought that the podcast didn't quite fit in, although there's a quite ironic thing about this because we're going to mention about the Local Guides panel, which is going to be a podcast-friendly show. And the name Guides, Go Local Guides, I guess I picked that because it's local guides. It's kind of similar to that. But I'm actually using guides as a verb rather than a noun. So what that means is Go Loco guides you in doing whatever it is. So that's the name change. It's also a format change, and basically I'm going to try to create more content that is related to the Local Guides program. So you probably see less travel videos of me moving around the world and more stuff that is actually more related to the program. I would like to feature more local guides from all over the world through shows like Local Guides Panel, and there's going to be more how-tos and guides in using Connect and Google Maps and things like that. Some very, very basic stuff, really. And Local Guides Panel is one of the shows or one of the projects I'm doing. And we're going to strip away the video, focus on it, and just treat it more like a podcast kind of show. And that's partially because YouTube is kind of being quite aggressive in pushing podcasts on their channel. So I'm trying to realign my strategy to match theirs as well. And forgot to mention that probably one of the more important things of the show, Go Loco is actually 5 years old. We somehow made it.
Congratulations!
It's actually quite funny because obviously Jan will be talking about his bit as well. And we started very, very similar in the same year. I started in January 2019, and I think Jan started in February.
February. Yeah.
Yeah. So some simple stats kind of show what's been happening for the past 5 years. Overall, we did 88 videos, 92 shorts, 20 live streams, and I think about 14, 15, 16, I think 16 podcast format shows. And it's hopefully there'll be more stuff coming along this year. Although with everything that's going on, and Peter will be touching on that, it's going to be a bit tricky. Anyway, that's the news about Go Loco Guides. The weird thing
We're
is, I
doing our
still
best to keep
struggle.
you,
Sorry?
we're doing our best to keep you occupied. To keep you out of
Yes,
trouble.
yeah. But Go Loco Guides is such a weird name because I actually struggle to say it. It's such a mouthful, but it
Yeah.
is what it is.
And
Anyway,
it's
that's my bit.
Yeah.
Nice and
it's
simple.
also it's always a struggle also for the naming to make sure that we don't violate any rules imposed by Google. You
Yes.
can't use the word Google. You can't use the word local guides as the official name. So yeah, I had the same struggle trying to come up with something which is similar, close, but still not in violation.
Mhm.
Because you don't want to mess with any legal teams of companies like Google, because you're pretty sure to lose unless you're Mrs. Vestager from Denmark. She can handle the guys, but as normal citizens,
Yes, definitely, yeah.
Mm.
So I'm hoping that I can find some time to do some how-tos and little video guides and how to use maps and stuff like that. I know it's quite basic, but hopefully that's something that the community will appreciate. I also want to kind of put some focus on Local Guides Connect, the forum, because we keep coming across other local guides and they're either not aware of the forum or they don't use it as much, or when they try to use it they struggle with using it. So I'm hoping to do some videos to kind of touch on it, all the different categories and topics that you can go on to, and how to use it, and what your expectations should be when you're using it, or something like that. That's the idea anyway.
great.
If there's no other questions, we can move on to Jan and I can just relax for now.
Okay, thank you, Adrian.
I have
So-
one question. I have a question.
Okay.
Right? You said we sometimes in your presentation. I got the idea that maybe you're doing all the work yourself, and I'm very impressed with the outputs that you are able to produce it at very high quality. But are you alone, or how is it?
I got split personalities. Really huge mood swings between. Well, the funny thing is, we started off as a group, so there were quite a number of us just doing this, and then I kind of like to use the word "we" because it kind of puts the emphasis on the channel as
Mhm.
body that's working on this. I don't know, rather than putting the focus on me, because I'm just part of this thing that I'm doing. And
And
I
we're
also
here to
want it to
support
be.
you today. We're here.
Sorry?
You can include us in your we today.
That's the thing. It's like all the guests that comes on the show is part of this project. So I like to treat it as a we thing rather than an I thing, because at any
All good.
point I would love to have people come and contribute to the show, or if they have ideas or what they want to do, feel free to discuss it with me and see what we can do with it.
Perfect.
Thank you. Over to you, Jan.
Yes, thank you, Adrian. Yeah, my topic is also a 5-year topic, as you mentioned. Also, the LetsGuide podcast is approaching the 5th anniversary in February. That will be, and actually, there was in January. I still remember very vividly. I had a bit of a panic attack in January 2019 because actually the reason I started doing a podcast is well, for several years now podcasts have been quite nice and trendy and interesting to listen to, and I have a in my history a bit of radio. So I used to be in the 1980s and around the year 2000. There was like history of what the so-called pirate radios. So I used to be one of those pirates, but
You
that
you,
all stopped.
you were not a DJ in a club raving scene, no?
No, not really. I did I did do some DJ sets on small parties, but usually the kick of live radio is really something very extraordinary. So that was really nice.
When was that? Yeah.
That was in the mid 1980s.
Right.
Yeah.
And
So
how far did the broadcasts go?
sorry.
How far did your broadcasts go? Did they reach?
These were all very local radios, so like a perimeter of 20 kilometers or something. So
Okay.
it's very, very regional.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then this all ended. And when podcast became a thing, I said, yeah, why don't I try to do a podcast? Because essentially, there's no real big investment you need to make. You just need a laptop and a decent microphone, and that's it. All the rest is just the hours and the work that you put into it. So I was looking for a good topic at the time, and by that time I had been local guide for like 1 or 2 years. And I said, I was looking around, hey, there's zero podcasts about local guides. This could be a really nice topic. So I started working on it. I prepared a small sample show that I presented to a few people that were also in the community. Everybody was really thrilled about it. And then when I was about to launch my first episode, there it was, another local guides podcast. I still vividly remember this day in January 2019 where the Go Loco podcast was launched at first. I said, oh no, there's another one. This was panic for a day or two. And
Yes.
then I heard the episode and I understood that the concept was quite different. So it was really nice to have the two, where the Go Loco podcast was focusing more on like the community of local guides and the personal interaction, and the LetsGuide podcast was really a how-to explanation about the program, about different aspects of it.
Yep.
So now
And
we're
it's still the same, that we are quite fortunate that we have very
Mhm.
different areas that we cover, and we don't
Yeah.
overlap that much. So moving forward, we're still going to be very community and people focused. Um, I have to admit, there's a big reason for that, and the reason for that is that to do what you do, Jan,
Yeah.
you need to do the research and you need
Yeah.
to know the program really well. For me, I like doing interviews because
Mhm.
I don't really need to know. I just need to know the questions. My guest is the
Yeah.
person that has all the knowledge, so they can do all the talking. I can just ask the questions, so it's easier for me in that aspect. So that's why I've always liked the stuff that I do.
Yeah. No, I've also had some interview episodes, and those are definitely less work to do. You just have to. There's also work in the organization, making appointments, then the recording, the post processing of all of it. But it's less work. To give the audience an idea, so my episodes are typically like 15 to 20, 25 minutes sometimes work. But if you look at the total amount of time spent to create these 20 minutes, it's usually 6 to 7 hours that you spend making the research, writing the script, doing the recording, the post production, then publishing it, making posts on social media, on Connect, stuff like this. It's really a lot of work, which is also the reason why the pace has dramatically gone down. So I started very ambitious with one episode every 2 weeks, and that lasted like a year or two, which is still very fine. And then I said, okay, I can't keep up this pace. So then it became once every month, more or less, for another 2 years or so, and then it's just too much. Now it's whenever I find a good topic, I create an episode, and that's
Yeah.
it. Or a lot of the episodes are called news and updates. So the program, and also Local Guides Connect and the Local Guides program, and Google Maps itself has lots of new stuff. So whenever there's new things, I can, when I have like 7-8 topics, I make an episode just with news items, and I get the impression that those are also appreciated by the audience. And right now, so for up to now, there are 47 episodes, and I'm going to prepare, or I'm working already. I'm preparing episode 48, which will be a very special one, because I invited both local guides in general, Connect moderators, and Googlers to submit answers to a few questions, and I will make a very special 5th anniversary episode to be released somewhere in February. I've assembled quite a few clips, and I've managed not to listen to them yet. So I've just put them in a folder, and I made sure that people submitting couldn't also check the other clips. So it's still going to be a very big surprise to all of us.
Happy birthday to your podcast as well, Jan.
Thank you very much, Peter.
So you haven't listened to it, so you don't know how long your show might end up as, or
No, not exactly.
Okay.
I know I have submissions from like 25 different people. Some have submitted 1 clip, others have submitted 3 clips, but the file size usually tells you something about the length. So,
Yeah.
and I also asked people not to submit long clips.
Yes.
That's the main thing, because 20 minutes, 25 minutes podcast episode is my personal sweet spot. So I like to listen to these podcasts. There's podcasts going on for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
It needs to be very, very interesting as a topic to do that, or you need to be in a very, very long train ride or car ride or whatever. But yeah, an hour is still fine. But I like 20 minutes just on one specific topic. That's interesting.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to listening to this special episode that's coming up next month.
Yep.
So all the best in editing.
Yeah.
Oh, this is actually maybe my favorite podcast in my podcast app. So when an episode shows up from Jan, I'm there. I'm listening to it, and I try to always send some feedback
Yes.
to tell him this was good, or now you're talking way too fast, or hey, and so on. So no, it's so appreciated that you take the time to do these episodes, Jan. Much appreciated.
You're welcome.
And over to you, Morten, then to touch a bit on the stuff that was it called, the dreams and hopes?
Mm-hmm.
You got it right.
That's what you asked me to talk about.
Yes, true.
Yeah. So I got this thing that I was not talking about some retrospective things like what I've been doing for the past 5 years, but I'll try to look forward a little bit. So I have 2 hopes and 1 dream about how we can make the program better. And the hopes are, I'll try to do them quickly. I hope that, do you remember just last year, we got an invitation from the Google moderators on Connect to fill in a questionnaire about what we would like the Connect platform to do in the future. And that's actually what I've been thinking about. If we can have a better platform for communicating between us local guides, then I think we are missing one very important aspect. I want to be able to do real-time messaging on Connect. It's so that when somebody has a group and a local community of local guides, they always switch to like Telegram, to WhatsApp, or to Messenger, or in Facebook or something, because there is no good, or there's actually no service that if you have an event where it's critical that this group knows this now, and then we can take questions and answers and so on. This is not available in Connect. So this is a new aspect that I really hope can be integrated in Connect in the future. I think one of the most important aspects or arguments is that if we want more activity on Connect, then we need to be able to help people with what's important for them. And if we have a platform where people they escape, go to other platforms just because the functionality is not in place on Connect, then we can have more activity on Connect if they don't have to split out and go somewhere else to do the communication. That is hope number one. Hope number two,
Thumbs
you
up.
may know, thank you. Yeah. You may know that I'm actually very busy on Connect, and one of my favorite topics is to help people who are in trouble because Google's moderation system kicked their butt or actually kicked them out of the program. And just recently, I have to admit, last week, I got kicked from Google Maps to the sense that they now started limiting different activities on Maps users. This is not directly connected to Connect. This is a Maps thing. So the moderation system restricted my ability to make edits for good.
Wow. Okay.
So I received this very melancholic message of, do you know what? We think you actually overstepped the guidelines, and so you can no longer make any edits. And I'm so into making edits. I think I have 92,000 approved edits on Google Maps, and kicking me out, I was just, oh no, this is the end. This is the end of my local guides career.
They're giving the rest of the community a chance to catch up.
Yeah.
Please do. Yeah, but it is, and the communication around restricting somebody is, I mean, it's not good enough. I mean, the way they communicate about this, there's some things I don't think they took the time to talk to anybody about what is the implication of the language you use in these messages, because it raised more questions but let's go back to the story. I appealed this because luckily there was an blue appeals button, and I wrote a little essay. Do you know what? I was reaching 600,000 K points so I wanted to push extra and get over the finish line here. So I made a lot of edits, a bunch of edits. And that's probably what triggered the spam filter to think that I was doing something that was not okay. But I got reinstated within, a day and a half. I was up and running again. But this is
I
my
think,
hope. Please.
Yeah, I think that in some cases they have systems in place checking on purely on volume. That they check, okay, nobody is crazy enough to make this amount of edits in this amount of time. That must be a bot. No, there are, and we call those people dedicated local guides, or in some
Idiots.
cases Connect
Yes.
moderators. There are people doing this. So that's
Well, there's one in Copenhagen.
yeah. No, they just want to stop you from reaching 100,000 edits. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. No, my hope is that in 2024, this moderation monster will get under control. I mean, it's not okay that people who dedicate time are very committed and they do follow the guidelines. Still, they run into trouble. All their edits, all their reviews, all their photos are suddenly gone. And that's not okay. So we need the moderation team to be much more looking at the track record of people and not just, hey, this could be spam. Instead, take the positive attitude and say, this person has been contributing at high quality for this long, then probably we need to give a little bit more slack than what you will see at a new local guide that's probably being a spammer. So that's my hope number 2.
Yep, got a quick question about that. You said
Please.
that you were reinstated. Were you reinstated with all your access and everything working properly, or are you still having some issues uploading stuff or editing stuff?
I'm actually contemplating to writing a a little essay describing what happened here, because these communication blunders from the side of Google Maps needs to be corrected.
Yeah.
But the messages I got was that all your edits has been removed. They don't
What?
specify if all my edits has been reversed, or is it just so you can't see your list of edits? That could be interpreted exactly the same. But the good thing is that quick of a reinstatement is that I can still see all my edits, and I'm pretty sure that nothing was reversed on Google Maps. I can still see things that I fixed.
Okay.
It's still okay. So, but communicating that something that took me so many hours to do was just gone poof. It's not okay. I mean, that needs to be, and the message even said it'll be, we can't automatically reinstate all your edits, so we won't be able to do it. But they were. But I mean, the communication part needs to be refined here to reflect the real case. Back to my dream, okay?
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
dream. We are talking about why do we have Connect? Why do we have all these local guides? And what can we do? I think after some deliberation, I think the most important thing Connect and the moderators and maps and the people around us could help us with was to make sure that the quality of contributions on maps will get better. I see so many bad reviews. I see horrible pictures, and some hasn't even started doing edits yet. So if we somehow could have a little academy or something on Connect, where people who are interested and want to learn in a fun, maybe quiz-based way to learn how do we make wonderful edits that get approved immediately? How do we do the reviews so they don't get hidden and they are as helpful as possible to the maps users? And how do we do better photography? So if the focus of our community could be how do we increase quality? And I know that over the years, the incentives given by Google in terms of badges and maybe being invited to an event, or maybe getting a little bit more editing power if you are a good person or you do well, those figure, if we could combine some quiz-based education on making better contributions with giving some feedback or some acknowledgments back from Google, that if people they pass a little quiz exam on how to make wonderful edits, then I think that could be a wonderful focus that's my dream. Thank you.
Thanks.
I agree, yeah.
Do you think that's something that Google should do just by themselves, or should they try to get the community to help out as well? Because that's quite a bit of a workload if they were to do it themselves. I don't know, but then they get paid to do it, so it's one of those things.
I really don't care, but I just think it needs to happen. I think the quality of contribution is a real issue on Google Maps. So if our community could have that as a leading star, a guiding star for where we are going in the future, I think that would be valuable to Google, because they would have better contributions, more high value product in terms of Google Maps. And I think also our community really could use some more focus on where we are going. I mean, look at Connect today. It's about food, it's about travel, it's about photography, it's about, I mean, honestly, it's pretty much about anything or everything, right? So
Yes.
more focus is a way that we potentially could get more people excited and have a more wonderful community.
Connect as well is such a, to me anyway, is such a small part of the local guides program in terms of numbers. So if we can get more people in the program to be involved in Connect, then through Connect we can help them to improve their contributions. Then it helps in that sense. I've
And
got a sorry, go ahead.
I also think that in terms of contributions on maps, that the focus partly from Google is not on. So Morten mentioned the loads of low quality stuff. I think Google is that their main concern is not removing low quality things, but making sure that the better quality stuff gets promoted to the top, pushing down the better the low quality stuff, so you don't get to see it anyway. So I think it's that's more of their focus, and we are often frustrated if we see a lot of bad quality pictures being uploaded and people get they get the rewards and the points also for them. But I think, of course, and that's always the problem with Google. They never officially communicate on what is behind it, what is their idea of it. But
Yeah.
we have to deduct from what we see, and yeah, that's the impression I get.
I think that's a very logical thought or comment about it, because if you think about it, if you're trying to fight spam or low quality contributions, it's almost like a losing battle, because it's so difficult to try to educate everyone and tell them how to write in a certain way or how to do better contributions. So as you said, maybe it's just easier to then just surface the good ones. But I guess there's a balance in between of trying to increase the number of good contributions and reduce the poor contributions, while trying to also surface just the good ones. I don't know. It's a tricky one.
No, but
It is.
maybe if I rephrase the aim to be, we want more high quality contributions, then it's not a question about removing or blocking or hindering anybody to make bad ones. But if I look at when I look at some profiles and see their photos, it's what Jan deducted now. It's very clear that there is an AI deciding which ones to be shown first and which ones to be shown high on the list, and those who get low priority, they in reality never get shown. You can see the view counts of such photos are in maybe between 10 and 20, maybe 30. That means this one is not really being shown.
And for me, when I try to explore a place and I'm looking at reviews, because if you're comparing, let's say, cafes in Manchester, and a lot of them happen to have 4+ stars in their rating, it's really hard to differentiate one cafe to another. So I rely a lot on reviews. And if the reviews is so brief, like good, bad, lousy, or whatever it is, then it's not helpful at all. I really need the longer reviews that explains better what the cafe is like. So yeah, better quality contributions definitely helps to people to explore better.
Yeah. But if we will be able to attract more people to come to Connect, we also have some stuff to give them. And I think it's you need to be really dedicated to find it fun to move around the Connect platform today. You need to know a lot, and there are some things that's not working very nicely, and you need to know how to navigate that. But if we could have stuff that people would, yes, I want to do that. That would be nice. That's an offer that I would love to take up. But on the other hand, I don't want to be the guy coming and saying, "Do you know what? You're not doing it good enough," or something. Forget about that. But if we can make it fun, and you can actually you can get benefits that are real, like if you take and pass the exam on making good edits, then you get more editing power. That would be, to me, super motivating.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I'm
Tools for
excited
super
to
users.
see. Sorry.
Tools for super users.
Yes,
Yes.
I think they
Yes.
need to appreciate super users and factor them in to the community as well, that they have slightly different needs and wants, I guess. But I'm really excited to see how the survey from last year translates to any changes for this year, if any. I don't know how quickly they can move and what their final goal is, stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how the community and the program grows and develop in 2024. Yeah. And on to our last panel, Peter.
I'm a panel. On to the last
Oh,
panel. Hi.
panel. Sorry. Yes, you're a
This
panel
is
on your own.
a really exciting offer because we've talked about the Local Guides program being a great community, and it is a great community online. But over the past 4 years, I think 5 years, we've actually had some real life Euro meetups. The one that I didn't attend in Krakow, I think, and then there was one in Ghent, which Jan organised, and last year we had one in Munich. Well, there's going to be one in Manchester. You might have read in the international press, if you get the New York Times, Manchester was listed as one of the 50 best cities in the world to visit. So you're going to be able to prove it.
For a moment there, I thought that Euro Meetup was mentioned in New York Times.
No, Euro Meetup, not yet. It might just get mentioned in the Manchester press.
Okay.
But Manchester is a brilliant city. It's a city full of history. It's had the first computers. It had the first railway trains. The atom was split in Manchester. It's got loads of history going back to Roman times. It's got medieval buildings. It was the centre of the cotton industry worldwide for many, many years. It was a focal point for the abolition of slavery, and it's a brilliant place to be. And Adrian, who lives part-time in Manchester and part-time in somewhere remote, and I are inviting you all, whoever you are, local guides, wherever you are, to come to Manchester from the 6th to the 9th of June later this year. We've begun to plan it. There's lots and lots happening. The plans are still a little bit in draft, but we're working towards them. We'll meet together on the Thursday night, the 6th, for a welcome meal in a typical English eating place, alongside some water areas, canals and so forth. And it should be a really good meeting. And then over the 3 days that we're together, we'll explore Manchester. We'll show you some of our favourite bits, and you can see some of the industrial bits that aren't quite so sort of pretty, but which were the centre of industry for many years. And together we'll take photographs, talk, share ideas, contribute to Google Maps, discuss the Google Local Guides program, and all together have a great time.
Jan is signaling we need beer as well involved.
Oh, there's plenty of beer, Jan.
There might
Absolutely
be the
plenty of
occasional beer, yes.
We've definitely got beer stations scattered all around Manchester. So yeah, do come and drink our beer. So, like I said, it's from the 6th to the 9th of June later this year. Every expense will be, sadly, at your own expense. So you'll have to find your own hotel. You have to find your own way here, and all the food and everything else that you consume will be at your own expense. But we'll try and guide you into good places to see. If you want to find out more about it, there are links on Connect, and we'll put those links at the end of this. We'll put the links on.
Yeah, I'll add the links. I'll add the links to the video description as well, so folks who are watching this can access those links and get to those posts and find out more about it. There's a online registration form. And my advice is that the sooner you register, I guess, the easier it is for us to make our plans. The registration form is split into 2 sections. One is if you want to register your interest. So you're not sure you're going yet, but you're interested to be kept up to date with the news information. So we can send you newsletters and stuff like that. And the second one is to actually register as an attendee.
It would be great to have as many local guides from all over Europe as possible to meet with like-minded people and spend time together exploring what Adrian and I think is our wonderful city. It's a great place to be, and we can probably have some decent weather in June, although Manchester's really quite well known for its wet weather. But we'll hope for sunshine.
Yeah, it's a gamble. It's a gamble with Manchester's weather.
And it's an excellent
opportunity.
opportunity.
Light night. It will be light until the middle of the night, really.
Yeah, for sure. But it's also an excellent opportunity to meet some really high-profile local guides, because there's a number of them. Also connect moderators.
Like all of you.
Yeah. and we can't guarantee anything, but there might be some Googlers. So not representing Google, but just joining us on in their
Absolutely.
personal name. That's what we had in Munich. There were over the 4 or 5 days, there were like 6 different Googlers who were at some point joining us, just being local guides, but also giving the opportunity to exchange some views with them on Google Maps on the local
Yeah.
guides program. So
And
it's
just
really
getting
an
to meet
opportunity not
people,
to miss.
getting to meet people we talk to online in real life, and they become real people.
Yeah.
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 So
And
an opportunity not to miss. It'll be great to see everybody in Manchester from the 6th to the 9th of June.
And
I'm
another thing to
coming.
mention as well is that you don't have to attend every single day if you can't do so. So if you are only free at the weekends or in the evenings, when you're in the local areas, things like that, you can also just pop in and out of the various
Absolutely.
events and activities that we have planned for you all. So I think
And
everybody here
you can pop
everybody
in
here
and
will be
out to
in
the pub as
Manchester.
well.
So
I
Yes.
have registered and I went to Munich as my first live event ever. And I'm looking so much forward to going to your event as well on the 6th to 9th in June. That's
Excellent.
wonderful. That's wonderful. And
Excellent.
So I got a question for I guess Morten and Peter. Peter went to Ghent and Morten's first was in Munich. For your first event, what did you have any trepidations? Were you worried about the people that you're gonna be hanging out with and whether you be able to blend in or stuff like that? Were there any worries?
I don't think I really had any worries. I think I already knew some of the people there from speaking to you online. Um, yeah, I think it was very intense. I think both Munich and Ghent were very intense, but brilliantly intense, really. Yeah,
Intense in what
no,
way? Like busy or
busy,
right, okay.
time filled.
Well, they haven't been to
But
Manchester yet.
it was great.
So
Well, ours is going to be as well. I know it was great to meet people in real life and to get to know people who got a lot more experience with the program itself and who gave me ideas and helped me sort of develop my own skills as a local guide.
yes. I guess
I
the bit
was
I can add to it. Sorry. Yep. Go ahead.
I think I enjoyed it a lot, definitely. I think it's important to balance the element of being tourists together with also having the time to interact and have substantive discussions on different topics related to being a local guide. I
That's what
think
we're hoping. Yeah,
I think that would be wonderful. And one other thing was that um, e- I think what we experienced in Munich was there's a balance between this is old friends meeting again and how do we invite and include newcomers. That balance actually
Yeah.
needs to be a
yeah,
lot better. So not um, taking that we know each other, everybody knows each other for granted. Because if we want to attract new people, we need to welcome them quite a bit better in terms of
yeah, absolutely.
embracing them
We've
and
actually been talking about that. Right. Sorry. We've
no,
actually been
please,
talking about that, and we've got some ideas to try and sort of keep everybody integrated. So that's you're absolutely right, Morten. That's something we've picked up on, and we hope to plan for.
very good, very
It's
good.
it's obviously I've never planned something like this before, so I got nothing to reference against. But I have a tendency to overcomplicate things. I think that's an easy way to describe it.
Nice to hear you saying that about yourself.
Yeah, so I I always try to do or put in too many things to do, so I'm kind of a bit worried about that. But thankfully, I have Peter to kind of hold me back and say less is sometimes better. So we are trying to address that balance of being a group travel social thing versus an opportunity to improve your skills, and then also trying to balance the folks that already know each other so well and they kind of hang out in cliques in a way, and then trying to get the new people in and introduce them to the rest of us as well. So there'll be
and to drink
things.
beer.
Yeah, and drink
And to
beer.
drink beer. Yeah.
And also for non beer drinkers like myself, there's other things to do like cafes and pastries and lots of chocolates. But yeah, so there is going to be something different this year, definitely, and it's hopefully will tick the boxes in terms of addressing all those issues, and hopefully everybody is open and game to get involved because there is some things that you need to get involved in. I don't want to
But
say too much because I want it to be a surprise. So yeah.
but I think if you listen a lot to what the participants' interests are and then try to respond to that, maybe you don't need everybody to attend everything. So maybe
No.
somebody have this interest and they have this interest, and then you could delegate and ask people, hey, could you organize something where we could get better at photos, get better at reviews, get better at edits, or something, or get better at
Uh-huh.
using.
They hit the button with that.
Okay.
Yeah, you hit the button with that a bit in Munich when there were options for people to get involved with, and time. Some people took time out. Some people did photo walks. Other people did little discourses on everything to maps. It was good.
Yeah.
Good.
But
Sounds
there
wonderful.
will be things to do that will touch on various aspects of the local guides program. So hopefully that would help people to learn more from each other about how to do certain things, and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting. I just hope there's not too much, and but yeah. But again, it's like you can balance your social energy. Can be really happy and clappy, or you can be quiet and still participate. There's just
Absolutely.
we are such a big group and diverse group that there's something for everyone.
Yeah.
Peter, perhaps you could ask the local authorities from Manchester that they, in the early June period, that they make some new roads which are not yet added to Google Maps, and then we can
I
do
will
a
sort that out now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then
How
we
about
can do a,
a
a
new
session on how
shopping
to road.
center? Yes, a shopping center
Yeah,
that hasn't
sure.
been mapped yet. That would be nice.
Right. I'll make sure that happens
Great.
in your dream.
Well, the fun thing is that we will be taking you to a neighborhood called Northern Quarter, and in the Northern Quarter there are a lot of small independent stores, and it does change quite a bit. As in, like every year there's a new shop
Yeah.
or an old shop gets replaced by a new one. So there's always new edits that you can find in the Northern Quarter. So we'll be spending some time there to explore the area.
Perfect.
Yep. So hopefully everybody's excited for your
Everybody in June.
Yeah.
Can't wait. I need to book my flight and my hotel as soon as possible now.
Yeah.
You do. Get it done.
And
Yes.
hopefully by the time the viewers or listeners watching the show or listening to this show, we would be getting the group chat up and running. That's the aim for this next few days for me anyway, to kind of set that up. And then so all the participants can share and their excitement about this event, and also plan and discuss how to get here, where to stay, and all that stuff.
And wouldn't it be wonderful, Morten, if we could have done that in Connect?
Exactly. Anyway, I think that's everything from everybody. Again, thank you so much for joining this first show for the year, I guess. Really excited to have you all here, and it's a nice way to also celebrate the anniversary for Go Loco Podcast / Go Loco Guides. Yeah, so excited to have you here. Thank you so much. If there's anything that you want to finish saying, do join in or pipe in. No?
It's been great meeting you guys again as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. And until next time, do stay tuned for the next episode. Oh, I was going to say that Go Local Guides panel, which is this series of shows, I'm hoping to do one every quarter at least.
Mhm.
If I'm lucky, maybe two, but we'll see what happens. Obviously, the next few months will be really busy as Peter and I ramp things up in terms of planning and getting stuff ready for Euro Meetup. And I'm also moving back and forth between Malaysia and UK, so it's going to be a bit tricky. But we'll see what happens. I'm really excited to see how this channel grows and what happens for this year and how we can integrate better with the Local Guides program and showcase more local guides on this channel as well. So thank you so much.
Great.
And until next time, see you
Thank
then.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.